It's no secret that if you meal plan, it's going to help you not only stay on budget financially wise, but also ensure that you have food on the table when you want it, which will help you from reaching, most likely, for more unhealthy options or just like throwing it all to the wind and being like, hey, frozen pizza again or takeout. However, as much as I have tried to be a traditional meal planner, it never lasts. I end up throwing it out the window. Honest to goodness, I probably don't even make it a week. I'm like, I always had this said, like, when I grow up, I'll be a meal planner, but newsflash, I'm 44. I'm not a meal planner. But this system actually works for me, and it's how we have for over a decade now gotten food on the table from scratch and been able to consistently stick to it without all of the pitfalls of not having a meal plan, and I have no spreadsheet. And that is to use in-season produce and what's in your pantry in order to plan dinner. So this time of year, we're pretty much eating strictly from the pantry because there is nothing in the middle of winter that's still growing out in the garden. So one of the things that we had an overabundance of this year, which was fabulous, is winter squash, specifically Delicata. As you can see, I've got all of my bins up here and over here are filled with Delicata squash. I've got a basket of Delicata squash, and I even have over here Delicata squash with a few acorn squash left. And then I've got some of these, they look like shallots, but they actually were just the poorest of the onion crop that didn't get very developed. So we are going to shop from the pantry. I need some shallots, aka baby onions, and 3 Delicata squash. And then I need some chicken broth, which we've got over here. And I need a clove of garlic, but I have my main braid of garlic that I'm cooking from already in the kitchen because we are going to be making from Plated by Season, which is our magazine that has from scratch meals. All of these make up, they're not necessarily baking, bake or cooking up in 30 minutes or less. And today we are going to be doing what's technically acorn squash soup, but as one can see, I only have 6 acorn squash left, so I'm hoarding them for very specific recipes. But the great news is you can interchange winter squash in almost any recipe. So delicata, butternut, acorn, all of those are pretty much interchangeable. So we are going to be doing the delicata squash version of this today. But you are not going to believe how fast and easy this is to make completely from scratch, and it is delicious. Let's go. So first step is we need to get our squash cooking. So I have already peeled it, and the first 2 have scooped out the seeds. So you could bake these seeds just like you would pumpkin seeds if you wanted to. However, today I'm gonna go ahead and give these to the chickens because they love having seeds, and it's a nice treat for them in the middle of winter when they don't have nearly as much to just naturally get as they do during the summer. So they are gonna get these treats. So we're gonna just cut these in half lengthwise. And then I just use a spoon. Actually, I found this spoon is, you can see where it's kind of flat instead of pointed. And so this allows me to really scrape out the insides easier than a pointed one. So I'm just gonna scrape those down in there. Alrighty. That will go out to the chickens later. And now you could bake these in the oven, and I have instructions for that. But if you want to make it faster, and this is one of my favorite modern appliances, is using the Instant Pot. As a modern homesteader, I greatly love this. Oops, got a seed sneaking in there. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put these, I have the trivet inserted already in here, and our water. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put these, stack them in. So this we're gonna cook for 5 minutes on high pressure and then do a 7-minute natural release. So it usually takes it about 10 to 15 minutes to come up to pressure. However, much, much faster than if you were doing it in the oven. If you're not dairy-free, then go ahead and use butter. But if you need to be dairy-free, then this recipe is super easy to adapt by using ghee. So right now, my husband and I are actually doing a cellular reset anti-inflammatory diet, and so we're avoiding dairy for a few months. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some of this ghee, and then a little tablespoon and a half of the olive oil here. And this, both the olive oil and the ghee, is from Azure Standard. And Azure Standard is a sponsor of this video. We're so grateful for their support, and they are a phenomenal company. So if you have never heard of Azure Standard before, it's like shopping from all of these small farms that are very ethically sourced, regenerative agriculture, super high standards, and it's like a co-op that comes to you. So you place your order online, you go to azurestandard.com. They've got fresh produce, frozen, all kinds of pantry goods. As you can see, I get a lot of my pantry stuff, all of my spices from them, and all of our fats. So anything that we're not raising ourselves, like tallow or lard, and we don't have a milk cow right now. So I get my ghee from them, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil. They have phenomenal prices, and you can get in bulk, and then you place your order and pick your drop spot, no shipping, and you go and pick it up at a coordinated time. Use coupon code Melissa15 to get 15% off your first $100 order or more as a brand new customer. So let's get our olive oil in here with our ghee, and then we're gonna just turn that over onto, medium heat. So our oil is shimmering, so it is perfect heat. We're gonna go ahead and put our carrots and our onions in there. And hear that sizzle. Go ahead and add a little bit of fresh ground black pepper and some salt. And we're just gonna let this cook and saute until our onions are caramelized, which will be probably about 7 minutes or so. We want the carrots and the onions both to get some caramelization on them. Okay, so now we're gonna pour in just a half a cup of broth to begin with to deglaze this. And then we're gonna add our garlic. And then while that is just simmering that garlic just a little bit there, I'm gonna go ahead, and my honey has started to crystallize, but actually kind of makes it easy to get out of the jar here. I'm gonna add our 2 tablespoons, and the heat will just melt that. And then I'm just gonna stir that. And we just got the garlic is just beginning to become aromatic, where you can smell it. Oh, that smells so good with the honey. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead, because we don't want to burn our garlic, so we're gonna go ahead and add the other 1 more cup of broth. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add in our cooked squash here, which, as you can see, is very soft. Then now we're gonna go ahead and add our other 2 cups. So we've got 4 cups of broth total. So here I've got about 10 sprigs of fresh thyme, and we wanna infuse this into the liquid and the soup, and then we're gonna pull it out though. So I'm just gonna put these in this tea strainer and set that down in there so that it can infuse. You could also tie this into a bundle if you didn't have a little strainer like this. And then if you are using the bay leaf, you can go ahead and add that too. I did not realize I was out of bay leaves, so clearly I need to place an Azure Standard order and get some bay leaves in, but this is gonna taste just fine without it. So we're gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes so that the thyme can get all infused in here, and then we'll add the rest of our spices at the very end. Okay, so we have been simmering for 15 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my thyme. Just let that strain a little bits of broth. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off because we're going to use an immersion blender to puree this up. If you don't have an immersion blender, you can transfer this to a blender to puree it. You probably have to do it in a couple of different batches, but either way works great. I do find the immersion blender I prefer, just because the less transferring of hot liquid, the easier. Okay, so we've got that all pureed up. Oh, smells so good. Okay, so now we're gonna add our final spices, and it is a 1/4 teaspoon ground nutmeg. Let's sprinkle that in. And then I have got freeze-dried sage leaves here. And it's a 1/2 teaspoon ground sage, approximately. If you are a measure, you go right ahead with your bad self. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this one by eyeballing it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stir that in. And I just turned off the heat, but you can see this is still steaming hot. And so I'm just gonna let those spices meld with the soup here and get that cooled down enough to eat, because right now it's too hot to eat, but man, does it smell good. Now, you could stop right here. This would be delightful as is, but we're gonna do something fun. We are gonna do crunchy sage leaves. So we're gonna take avocado oil, and I've got my little cute as a button baby cast iron skillet here. Go ahead and turn this on to medium. And we are gonna heat 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. So as you can see, we are starting to get a little bit of steam there. And I just used the infrared thermometer, and this is at about 370-ish degrees. So we're gonna test it with 1 leaf first. It's sizzling, so we're good. And it's just gonna be about 30 seconds or so on each side. I'm gonna go ahead and put all of these bad boys in. And you'll see it'll start to turn brown as it cooks. So you see, this is a really fast process. So we're gonna go ahead and take our leaves out so they don't burn. We just want them crispy. And then we are immediately gonna sprinkle these bad boys with some salt. Here we go. All right, now it's time to dish up our soup. And really the longest part of this recipe, honestly, was just the prep work, the chopping and all of this. This comes together super, super fast. And I'm actually really hungry, so we're gonna put a little bit more in there. There we go. Oh, it smells so good. And I have to say, with the amount of garlic and the thyme and the sage that's in here, you could almost call this medicinal level of soup. But now we're gonna take our little crunchy sage leaves. Aren't those cute? Get those on top. All right. Gotta get a little bit of that crunchy sage leaf in there. Oh my gosh, that is so good. The sage leaf just is this light little crunch, and then it just literally melts in your mouth. This is phenomenal. I will be probably reserving at least half of all of that delicata squash you saw in the pantry to just put this on repeat for the whole rest of the winter. This is so good. For the printable version of this recipe, we'll have the link below. You can head over to the blog to grab that. And while you're there, you're just gonna wanna grab a copy of this. It goes through every single season and has multiple recipes just like this. All of them come together in 30 minutes or less and are from scratch. You wanna have this on hand. And also, do you know what pairs perfectly with this? Is a loaf of sourdough artisan bread. So you can go and catch this video and learn how to make this bad boy for the perfect pairing.